Started. And let's get a little bit of tunes. Welcome, Pirate Council. May our tall tales please you. When last we left our heroes, they had just swapped out the Erinyes statuette from the Afterlife Casino, causing Queenie Togglepocket to undergo a very, very embarrassing situation. And the once opulent halls of the Afterlife Casino echo with the frantic murmurs of confused guests and the sharp, authoritative barks of tiefling security guards. The golden Erinyes statue, once the centerpiece of Queenie Togglepocket's grand tournament, lies in a disgusting heap, a grotesque mockery of the riches and power it once symbolized. As the aftermath unfolds, some of you gather in shadowy corners of the casino, away from the prying eyes of staff and patrons alike. I believe the adrenaline perhaps coursing through your veins as the heist kind of nears its completion. The crew has pulled off one of the most audacious capers the Afterlife Casino has ever seen. Killian, we look back and you find yourself thinking back to that moment in the vault, the cool air, the arcane hum of security wards, the looming presence of the Minotaur skeleton. Can you give us a bit of a recap of how you managed to not disable the camera, swap out the statue, and without alerting every guard in the place?
We murked some guys, basically. There was some dudes that came in. They saw a barrel in the corner. Very, very, very good-looking barrel. Very fancy barrel. It was kind of jacked. And then that barrel snapped back into being a tiefling. And then he just fucking murked those guys. Didn't kill them. He was told not to. He did think about it. He just knocked him out, took their shit, maybe used some of it paired with Paulie's shit to make a disgusting statue. Yeah. Then the rest is history. It's also not very nice and cool and chilly and temperate where he's ended up.
Absolutely.
Quite
and we'll
warm.
get to that. We will get to that.
Kind of wishes he was back there at the moment.
I was going to go with Paulie next, but he's returning to the room.
I'm here. I just needed more stir fry. Sorry.
The memory of your interrogation in the security room still fresh in your mind. You recall the smirk on the guards' faces, the way they tried to intimidate you. Little did they know that it was all part of the plan. What was it like? Explain to us playing the role of the brash gambler, all the while knowing you were the decoy in this high-stakes game.
I mean, other than being the decoy, Paulie was just being Paulie. And I think that works best, you know what I mean? Because then people are suspicious of him. Just as a general rule, I mean, I would be suspicious of him because he's a bit of a braggadocious sort and looks a bit shifty. You know, he put on a song and dance for the security, so that way he could keep the eyes off the mirrors, and yeah, basically leaving the casino knowing that, like, you know, Killian has got all the weight and talent, most importantly, you know, with them, then I reckon we'll be fine.
You are obviously eventually let out of the prison that you broke back into in the casino itself. Do you want to describe to me how that ended up going down in the post-heist?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thing. What happened? How did they? You know, I think there was probably an interrogation of sorts, thinking you had something to do with it. But if you want to describe to me what happened and kind of how you pulled through.
I didn't leave one single bit. I feel like Queenie, you know, came in with a bit of like bird shit smattered on her from where the statue would like plop down, looking a bit defeated. Paulie just goes, "What's wrong? That dress is beautiful. Why would you, like, you know, let yourself get anywhere near that kind of stuff?" You know, not trying to let on that obviously is a part of it, but you know.
I think through her fury, I think she does order the guards to rough you up somewhat in those cells. And,
Absolutely. I want to uncanny dodge every single blow I can.
Right, rolling with the punches, so it looks like you're taking the full hits.
I'll play it up. Yep, I'll play it up.
And when she kind of gets nothing out of you, and is, you know, eventually as you're like, look, I had nothing to do with it. I was, you know, I know nothing, etc. Are there any kind of parting words?
Yeah, and I'll point to the guys in the cell next to me. He's like, yeah, they can tell you I was here the whole time. And you know, that's Raynod.
Yeah.
Nesbit and Ratty.
Yeah, and she asks the guard that was stationed there when you kind of snuck out, and he says, "Yeah, sorry, boss. You know, he was in there the whole time. I even poked my head in, and he was strutting around back and forth, just doing bird things." Obviously, Raynod and Ratty and Nesbit, you know, pretending to be you in the cells during that time. Do you leave her with any choice words as you are eventually let go and let free?
Does she escort me the whole way out of the casino?
Sure, if you like.
Absolutely. Just as we come out of the cave, the river, go. Renee said that there'd be no chance that I'd be in relation to that.
Her eyes kind of narrow. She says, I know he spread his seed far and wide, but had no children that we know of.
No, you're right. I probably haven't played into it. The heist that happened today. Well, anyway, you have a very good one. I'm pretty happy with my winnings that I got from your casino, and I will be sure to come back to my earliest communities.
And I'm imagining Paulie, you know, playing up the injuries until at least kind of just step out of the casino.
That's it.
And then just stand up straight again.
Like literally, crick my back and go, oh, the beautiful sunrise, and then I'm I skip my way down. Or hey, actually, can I try rob something off her just while we're on that, we're in close proximity?
Perfect.
What do you attempt to do?
Whatever. Honestly, something shiny she's got on her.
Well, she doesn't have her Pandora bracelet, but she's certainly bedecked in jewels. Earrings.
I want to try steal something from her, and then as I'm running away, play with it in my hands.
yeah. Sure. Yeah. No roll required. Just perfect. So if you get a sort of a gemstone earring, as you know, that you obviously nicked at some point when she leaned in close to kind of, you know, threaten you in your ear.
I just want to make sure she sees it, you know? I look at the sunrise with it in my hands, you know?
Yeah.
Put a glint in her direction.
For sure. Now, Kara, you slipped through the employee areas like a shadow. Your presence barely noticed by the other workers. Every step perhaps calculated, every glance measured. How did it feel knowing that you were the unseen hand guiding the heist from within, always one step ahead of any potential threat?
It felt great. I think Kara maybe came out of it being like, oh, maybe this is why I used to do what I used to do that I don't remember very clearly, but I know it was kind of like this sort of stuff. Maybe not stealing things, but definitely being part of a plan, essentially. And I think Kara's a pretty friendly guy, so I think he definitely made friends with other staff members. But when he goes to leave, I think we talked about it last week that he actually had it that Don Ma took him out. Don Ma was like, I'm taking this one with me to leave, and we got to walk out, you know, together. And Kara's like, oh, sorry, I guess I quit. This is my new job. And he's just arms interlinked with Yama. Yeah, I don't know. He's, I think, but he does kind of any of the people that sort of knew he was new and knew that he wasn't on his shift when he was supposed to be, particularly around the heist. I think he makes a point of not making eye contact with them. I feel like maybe there's a handful of smart, but you know those people who are very smart, maybe smarter than their jobs think, but they don't care enough about the companies they work for to do anything when they see something wrong. Like, you know, shop attendants who see someone shoplift and just think, take it, it's not mine, technically. I feel like there's a couple of people that maybe see Kara and just go, weird that you got hired and then something got stolen and you've not been on your shift.
Yeah.
And Kara's just like, I'm just not going to look at that person. Just going to pretend I don't see them behind the bar as I walk out.
Love that. And that neatly brings us to Yama. The poker tournament was intense, with every hand you played bringing you closer to your true goal. What was going through your mind as you sat at that table, knowing that so much was at stake, more than just winning the game?
I think he was very focused on the game. I think he, as he, you know, got into his cups, which we found out later was not maybe so alcoholic, he was still very acting that way as if he had imbibed a whole lot of alcohol. So I think he was maybe just becoming more and more violent, especially as he was like losing and doing poorly in the game. I think he was still harassing his table mates that he'd started off on before the game even began with his intimidation. And and I think maybe, you know, as he lost the game, he started, maybe like there were those two like devils or fiends in the room, and maybe he's kind of like drunkenly stumbled over there and he's like trying to pick a fight with them, with his divine sense being maybe not so spot on. He's maybe like yelling at a wall, and some of the other clientele who are still like in the tournament would be just thinking he's absolutely lost his mind. So maybe he eventually just gets like escorted from the tournament room, having lost anyway and no longer participating. He's just been escorted out of that space. But being such a high roller, he's not been escorted from the premises completely yet. Perhaps that's when he spots Karu from across the room, and maybe Karu makes her like a, let's go. Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
It's not my hands. It's my tentacles, though. It's my tentacles behind my head going.
As if no one else can see, but it's just like you that can't see because they're behind
the Simpsons or is it the Simpsons tassels?
So from across the room, as Yama's being like thrown out of the tournament room, Yama is just like seeing Karu making all these like gestures, and he just goes like, I know you, let's go. And he like basically like sweeps up Karu. And I think they're possibly the only ones who like leave through the front door.
I will say that like Karu does like lean it, like, you know, like maybe like interlinks arms with Yama and like leans, and he's like, oh my god, Killian got turned into a barrel. Like,
what do you mean? I thought he was like, a lobster. No, he was a lobster. I saw it. He was a lobster.
Yeah, and then he was a barrel.
Brilliant.
Like, because when I went into the vault, he wasn't there, but there was a barrel with his tattoos on it, and then he turned it, and then he stopped being. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. I'm not sure what that benefit played.
I don't think I've ever seen him turn into a barrel before. Only megalodon. Yes, yeah. A megalodon. I'm sure it wasn't a megalodon.
No, it was definitely. It was definitely a barrel. I just can't.
And Yama's just like, yes. He's like leaning heavily on you.
maybe it's just a genius I don't understand. You know, like maybe.
Maybe
it's beyond
a genius.
No,
I thought he was all muscles.
I mean, the brain's a muscle, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
All the while, you guys are just hearing a really low-pitched, static hum coming from where Killian's transponder thing should be, because he's no longer here.
Oh, yeah. At least you're not hearing us talk shit about you.
Yeah, I got bigger fish to fry.
You just hear, through the piece, like this weird static, and then a kind of fiendish voice. Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line until we can connect you to...
Sounds like an orc from Lord of the Rings.
And like you know it's truly fiendish. It's because it's that wait music that is on every single bank, and every time you try and call a bank, that hold music that just slowly drives you insane. That truly must be of the hells. That is coming through. I love that you failed to mention Reynard, Nesbit, and Ratty. So at some point we cut back to Paulie being punched up and whatever, and those guys going like, Nesbit going, don't you worry, Reynard. Yama be back. I mean, the Donma will be back to pick us up at any minute. He won't let us rot in here.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Any minute now.
We're like crossing the bridge, fully left, and Yama's like, I feel like there was one more thing we needed to do.
Definitely forgetting something.
I don't
my
think
winnings from winning the tournament. That's it.
Oh my god! Yeah, go get your money. Go back in, get money. Still leaves. Cuts to Reynard going, anytime now.
Yeah. Also,
maybe Yama goes back for them the next day, if that's a thing that we could do. If Donmar is still with his persona, can go in and be like, "You're holding my men against their will. How dare you? The amount of money I've spent in this establishment."
Yeah, I love that. Queenie's nowhere to be found that day. If you go back the next day, there's certainly a more chill atmosphere at the casino. A lot less patrons. People seem to be giving it kind of a bit of a wide berth. I love that you forgot them.
So bad at having henchmen.
And Paulie, now they didn't return Talon to you despite you having a ticket for
No.
the valet.
Oh yes, that's a good point. Yes.
But does Paulie just not bring it up?
Oh no, I'll probably get really shitty about it. I'll play it up. Absolutely, yeah. I'd play it up.
Also, comes back the next day, completely forgot about Talon.
Yeah. Paulie and Donmar have to go back separately.
Yeah, it can't be seen together, that's for sure.
Killian, we cut to you. The chaos of the Afterlife Casino fades behind you, Killian, as you step through the shimmering portal in Queenie Togglepocket's lavish office. You feel a rush of cold air as the teleportation magic engulfs you, pulling you away from the casino and from the scene of your grand heist. The real statuette safely tucked under your arm, a pouch of platinum jingles at your side, and Paulie's prized sword Talon rests securely at your hip. But something isn't right. As you emerge from the other side of the portal, the familiar opulence of the casino is nowhere to be seen. Instead, the air is thick with the acrid scent of sulfur and smoke. The ground beneath your feet is hard and unyielding, a mix of jagged stone and scorched earth. The sky above is a swirling mass of crimson and black, oppressive and endless, with no sun, no stars, only an eerie red glow that casts everything in a sinister light. You find yourself in the heart of a vast infernal city. Towers of iron and obsidian rise high into the blood-red sky, their twisted spires scraping the heavens. The streets are narrow and winding, lined with the jagged buildings that seem to lean inwards, as if they might crush you at any moment. The air is filled with the distant sounds of wailing, the clanking of chains, and the low, constant hum of dark magic. This is no ordinary city. The weight of the place presses down on your soul, its very atmosphere teeming with malevolent energy. You recognize it from your time here before, and the dark tomes you've studied. This is the city of Dis, one of the layers of the abyss. A place of endless torment and suffering, ruled by the archdevil Despater himself. The teleportation circle beneath you flickers and then goes dark with a snap, leaving you stranded in this hellish realm. The real statuette suddenly feels much heavier in your hands, its infernal power almost thrumming in the oppressive air. Talon glows faintly, a reassuring presence, though its power seems diminished in this place so far from the material plane. You're in enemy territory now, surrounded by fiends and the damned, with no clear way back to the world you know. The city stretches out before you, a labyrinth of suffering and despair, and somewhere within its depths there might be a way of escape. But for now, you're on your own, and the city of Dis watches with unblinking eyes. We fade to black. And when we next fade in, Killian, as you enter into the Brine's Widow, what has changed about your appearance? Are you still wearing the same clothes they left you in? What do we see as the audience as you re-enter? Perhaps some smoke still, emanating off or steam emanating off your clothes. What is it we see when we see Killian walk through the door like Aragon returned?
His hair is much longer. He's got the exact same haircut. It's uncanny. That Aragon haircut, it just that happened. But as soon as his first order of business, once he realized where he had appeared, was to fit in a bit more. So he'd spent some time, took off his coat, still got his really tight leather pants on, and his heeled boots. Like, got to still keep the fashion up. But just no shirt, muscles on display for everyone. His horns look a lot more
Horny?
devilish. Devilish. We'll go with devilish.
I like
pointy.
Yeah.
He's just so as he's made his way through the city of Dis, he doesn't look very much like he used to look. Everyone knows Killian as the dark-skinned tiefling, jacked with golden tattoos. Now you see him with red skin. He looks like a standard tiefling. He's got a hellish tan. Just with the short time he was there, it just, that's what happens. His skin adapted back to his natural surroundings. And he's walked in and he's like, yeah, that was interesting. It was a nice takeaway, but glad to be back here.
How long, and I'll put this to the group as what is the most hilarious length of time that it has been? I mean, for Killian, it may not have been that amount of time, because time certainly works differently in the Abyss. But how long do you feel that
Yama's
you've
still
all been
drunk.
waiting? Yama's still
Yama's
fake
still
drunk?
drunk.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been like 3 days or something, and he's still like sloshing around and like an angry, grumpy old man.
Perhaps 3 days for you,
Yeah.
but Killian perhaps much longer.
Yeah, I'd say I want to say it's been like a year for Killian.
Based
So
on the
he
length
looks-
of his hair. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks a lot more. He's got a few more scars. His tattoos don't have that golden luster anymore. They're now blackened. And his skin is bright red instead of dark grey. Or that bluish grey tint. So he's like, whew. He's visibly a completely different person. Yeah, everyone is a lot more grizzled and he's like, he's sort of reverted back to being hellish because he's been there for a year. Everything's a bit wibbly wobbly on the surface. It's a bit weird. Why is the air so nice? But to him, it doesn't feel or smell nice. He's not used to this anymore.
What kind of state is Karu, Yama, and Paulie in the back rooms of the Brine's Widow? Obviously, this was the point, the place to kind of meet up, the safe house, as it were, to meet up after the heist. What is the mood as you've all been waiting for Killian? What has been the last 3 days? What have you been up to?
Surely we've just been having fun.
Absolutely.
I would say Yama maybe like total opposite. He's been like this wet blanket this whole time. Like he's
Hungover.
been going along with you guys, totally morose, totally hungover. He's like hissing at the light, and like has been absolutely depressive. Every time you guys try to include him, he'll like smile and try for like a second and then just go back to like, you know, staring at his hands or something.
Yeah, no, that doesn't fly. Karu is just like maybe a little obnoxious about trying to cheer you up. So there's dancing. Karu will pick you up and swing you around. He'll bring you like hot water so you can like try some tea. He'll like.
Oh yeah, Paulie's definitely gonna like show you some hangover cures. You know, it's like, oh, we've all been there, Yama. Don't worry. Actually, yeah, probably you, Killian. You probably need this too. Come here.
So,
Oh, Killian, what happened to your hair?
It's been a
Where
year.
have you been?
No, it's been 3 days. What's wrong with you?
I was
no,
in hell.
I think it's been a year too.
It's
Look,
been 3 days.
Yama,
Yama. Stop being so
Yama,
dramatic.
you haven't changed. You haven't changed. Killian's like gonna give the lowdown and be like, "See, I got this scar about 8 months back. Pissed off
you
an
didn't.
imp.
I was here 8 months. Like, you didn't do that. I don't remember that fight. What fight? You didn't fight an imp 8 months ago.
Well, how can I show this?" And he'll like, because he's been making his way through, he'll like walk over to Paulie and be like, "Oh yeah, here's Talon back." And
Yay!
Talon looks like it's been used steadily over a year.
You gotta oil it. I gotta show you.
I
Like,
did.
Come here.
I
There you
did.
go. It's like, no. You obviously haven't, all right? You got in one
also-
bloody fight in your 3-day little trip to hell, and then you didn't even look after it. Now, come here. I'm going to show you how to
Do you
fix
know how
it.
hot it is down there? If you oil that blade, it would have turned to spaghetti.
I mean, you know, it just would have been a glistening, sexy sword like it is anyway. Now, come here. I'm going to show you how to clean a sword. I'm going to show you how to clean a sword.
Okay.
So Killian, you fall back into the, you know, is there a sense of relief having returned to these friends? You know, for them it's been mere moments, but you know, for you it's as you said, it's been a year. Is there kind of a lightening of the moroseness after a few hours now that you've returned,
no.
or is it just it's sort of sticking with him a bit?
Killian's like standing on business. Like he'll humor Paulie for a second. Like Paulie showing him how to clean the sword because it's Paulie's sword. It got him out of some tight spots over the last 12 months. So he will humor him, but then he'll like Paulie. I feel like Paulie's like, see, you got to do this, and then Killian just sort of like turns and walks away, and he'll walk straight over to Verity Kyle, and then just like put down the statuette and be like, you know how long I've been gone.
She says, "Well, Sugar, you look like reheated. You look like a bag of reheated shit."
Oh, you can't hear you, Dan.
Oh, can't hear me? There we go. I pressed buttons accidentally. You look like a bag of reheated shit. Come on, sit down. Let me get y'all a drink. And she makes for you a sort of like a sulfur and brimstone cocktail, and then have one of these. Bring you a little bit back to the material with a little bit of taste of home, and then we'll get you on the real material stuff. And she sort of after getting you all some drinks. I mean, you probably are in the back room, so it's like away from prying eyes and whatnot. And she says, "Well, Sugar, this is a marvelous treat. I thought even just the look on Queenie's face as that replica melted into her lap was just more treasure than I am ever going to need again. But this baby's a runner-up."
Gillian
And
just
she-
goes, "That's fine with me," and picks it back up.
Oh, she'll pick it up and deftly kind of put it away in a crate, and she says, "As per our arrangement, anything else y'all got out of there's all yours, and of course, I owe you some information, but we got time, so take a load off, count your winnings, share it out. I know how it is being on a crew."
Killian will go, "Oh, yeah. Speaking of, is 100 platinum each."
Ooh.
Just hand out 100 platinum.
There's definitely a lot more than that.
No, I only
Are-
got 400 platinum.
Was
I
it?
got
Is that
400 platinum out of that
Oh,
crate.
yes. Sorry, yep.
So 4 ways.
Me no count good.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's do... Wait, before you say that. Should be 80 platinum, 10 to the ship, 10 to the crew, from each of us.
As Karu takes the money, you hear him out loud say, "Oh shit, I forgot to get paid. I worked there for like 3 days."
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's 10 to the ship and then 10 to the crew. That's fair.
Because it was an infernal run casino as well, they made you fill out so much paperwork to get started. Like
Yeah, I had to
superannuation.
like, open it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have a superannuation account. We don't have that underwater. Like,
You
Damn
get to
it.
set one up.
You had to pay the no union fee. Like it was a whole so much bureaucracy.
suddenly Karu isn't sitting next to Yama also being a complete grump. Just because he's just like, man, I get paid.
Yama's still like
Hold up.
sitting there, like looking at his warm water that Karu brought him, and he's like, "And I got this scar in the war with the lizard people."
Did you get that 8 months ago? Or when did you get that?
Yeah, I guess it was about 8 months ago. Man,
I was with you 8 months ago. You didn't get that with the lizard people. What is wrong with everybody?
it was like it was just raining.
D-Bucks, you're handling the money still, aren't you, with the ship?
Yeah, it's 95 platinum each, and then 10 to the ship, 10 to the crew.
Okay.
95. Even better.
Sweet.
I actually have a lot of money, but I don't.
I like to think that in canon, Paulie said, no, wait, 80 to the lieutenants, 10 to the ship, 10 to the crew. And Killian's just like looked at the numbers and went, okay, no, it's not that. And hands everyone 95.
Yeah. Killian's like, fucking god damn it, this idiot.
I don't need it. I don't need a math good as long as I have a big pile of shiny. I don't care.
Big pile of coppery shiny.
Yeah, it's still shiny.
Do not throw this at people
Do not
like
throw
you do with your copper.
Now, Killian,
Paulie,
did you...
Paulie puts a fistful of platinum back in his pocket.
Did you end up spending any of your share while you're in the abyss? Does Killian come back with anything kind of new?
Killian would have looked on his way through
Mhm.
for things, but he would have spent it in gold, not in platinum, because that platinum's
Yeah.
hot at the moment. He'd just stolen
Literally
it from
hot.
Queenie, went through her tunnel to Dis. So he's like, I'm not going to spend that money just in case in the year that he was there. He would have gone looking for tomes, as he does like his books. But I don't know if he would have found one.
Did Dylan do his
He would
homework
do.
and make a list to send me before the session?
Dylan had a list that was open on his computer from doing his homework straight after the session last week.
Yep.
He was smart.
But he didn't submit it?
No, he didn't. He
For
works till
approval.
4 a.m. every day. But I can do that now quickly. Because there
I'm
are
not
only
going to
two
look at it
things that
now.
he was-
Well, maybe I'll look at it now, but we'll see.
I'll just send it to you in Discord. It's literally 2 things.
Yeah, cool. So the success of some money in your pocket, a heist complete. How does the crew kind of celebrate perhaps the next 3 days now that you've all been reunited? Reynard and Nesbit finally let out of casino jail, and the crew kind of reunited here at the Brian's Widow.
I have some costume things that I need to like sell. So I'd love to deload those. I bought some like half plate and a lot for this expedition.
Mhm.
That half plate was 750 gold, so I'm really hoping to sell like get some of that money back. So I think that's what like Yama does. He's an absolute like dark cloud, and he's like PTSDing and maybe seeks out some like therapy with Karu or something.
What's Karu's kind of movements over the next 3 days is the crew kind of celebrates their take. You obviously dole out the other 10 platinum to, or break it down into smaller coinage for the supporting members of the crew. So they're paid maybe a bit of shore leave.
They get it in silver.
Yeah. So
Makes
it feels
seem
more
like it's a lot more.
Yeah. So all the crew is kind of in that kind of party mode. What's Karu doing though?
Karu's in party mode. Karu is, and I don't know what like kind of activities Yama wants to do to maybe like get out of his little depressive slump. But like I said, Karu is going to obnoxiously help with that. But yeah, he's gone full party. He's gone full party, bro. He is the guy on the party bus that won't sit down and instead, is trying to turn every pole into a stripper pole. He.
Paulie gets you random polls.
Yeah.
Just to see what
Paulie trying to support everyone having the best time ever. So yeah, Paulie gets Karu polls. Just brings random polls.
And Karu's just like, perfect, I love this. This is great. Installs one permanently somehow on like somewhere. And I think he also like, because he worked in the kitchen, I know it was only for like 2 days, but he kind of enjoyed the like whatever the level of cook is that where you're just like cutting up shit all the time. And so I think at some points he just kind of like peeks his head into like the kitchens and he's just like, I don't need to get paid. I didn't get paid when I did this properly. Can I help? Can I cut some carrots? And so he just like, between partying, he also like fucking waits on people. He just becomes a waiter.
So he's basically just turned into hospo stuff.
Yeah, he's like
Literally what everyone does.
He's like, I actually really like this. But I do think at some point he maybe goes with Yama to do the like try and sell the half plate. Mostly because he just isn't a shopper, so he's always curious about what do you do when you shop? Like what do you buy? But yeah, just being a party boy.
Carefree party boy.
Hell yeah.
Very good. What's Paul up to?
Also, I realized divvying up all of the shit. Checked my list as well. I did get more stuff out of there.
What else? Yeah, what else did you guys get as part of that haul? I know Paulie got something. He got a dagger of some kind.
Yeah, I got a dagger and then a cloak, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got the cloak. You handed it to me. I took it with me. So it's a cape of Mountebank. It basically lets you use Dimension Door. So Killian will be like, there's this, like, he's like rummaging through his pack. He's like, oh shit, yeah. There's this. I did study it. I did have a lot of time. It lets you use Dimension Door. I used it a couple of times down there. Pretty helpful. As long as you can equip or bear the load of another magical item, I feel like it would be quite useful to Yama for movement. Or even Karu, really. Getting behind things.
I'm grateful, but I already have this swishy golden cloak of protection.
What does it do?
I
wasn't listening.
It's a cape that'll let you teleport once a day.
Karu yells at it. He's like, what does it do? You're going to have to repeat that. And he's like, you just hear chop, 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 chop.
Oh, it lets you teleport.
Dimension door.
Once a day. Hey, it's pretty useful.
Do I have to give up stuff?
I mean, if you can bear the load of one more magical item, then you can use it. If you can't, then no, you can't use it.
I can always bear the load. I'm strong. I know that's not what you meant, but that's what I think.
And Killian's like, that's not, well.
Hey, Killian, can you have a look at this dagger too? It's like dripping with black, like liquid.
Yep, no worries.
If no one else wants that coat, I'll take it.
Garu can have it.
I'm fast as fuck, boy. I don't need to teleport.
I could be faster than you because then I could teleport and be fast. Like I'm just as fast as you, but also teleport.
Alright, we're racing. We're fucking racing.
Yeah, that's the first use of this fucking coat. It's a race.
So it's in Foundry now. I rolled it in the Foundry so you can get the name. I'll also look at the dagger. I'll make an Arcana check. Oh, actually no. I'll spend. We've got a bit of downtime, don't we?
Yeah.
I'll spend some time and I'll identify it properly.
Yep. All right. This is a dagger of venom. It is a +1 dagger. You can use an action to cause the thick black poison to coat the blade. The poison lasts for 1 minute or until an attack using this weapon hits a creature. That creature must succeed on a DC 15 con saving throw or take 2d10 poison damage and become poisoned for 1 minute. And then it can't be used again that way until the next dawn. So it has a once a day poison that you can apply on it.
2d10, that's pretty wild.
Sick.
Yeah, and the poison condition.
I'll also be like, oh yeah, I'll move it into work for now. I also got these. And he holds up
The
some
BDSM
handcuffs.
shackles.
Yeah, some
Hell
real
yeah.
fluffy handcuffs.
No, I love it. Wait.
These are hey, I didn't get them in the hills. Got them from Queenie.
Kinky.
I don't like the I don't like the implications of these for Queenie. Put them on something, and they can't teleport. They can't go to a different plane of existence. They can't go anywhere. They're stuck there physically. No magical means will move them
Don't
out
tell
of there.
Holly-
These are your scary, like these are your scary chains. They're the thing that you are afraid of.
Oh no, I can just walk out of there. You used to walk.
You can't
You
give them
just-
to Paulie because he might put them on me so that he can win our race.
I grab them and I put them on the. I put them on the
you
car.
no, you don't.
I think
I ran
these
away.
are a little bit too dangerous for any one of us to own together.
Paulie chases Karu with the shackles. Come here.
Karu like tentacle suctions up the wall, like skitter.
Why?
Forgetting that you can fly, and he's like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, I believe we should keep these. These do sound quite useful if we ever come up against someone who is very, very deft at teleporting the fuck away when we're trying to kill them. They're quite useful, but yeah, they're also kind of sketchy.
We don't have to attune to them, right? They're just like we can.
Mm.
We have to
Use them
attune to
on
them.
others.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, cool.
No, they're not attunement. It's more specifically for using on prisoners, so they can't teleport away.
Well, yeah, no, definitely good if there's someone that's tricksy. We can
Mm.
stop them.
If we come up against someone like me,
Yeah, or someone like me now, and he swishes the cape.
it's also really, really useful. Because realistically, if you could fight with your hands bound, I feel like if we ever came up against someone that did what I do and banishes people, you can put them on and then they can't banish you.
Oh,
That's pretty smart.
That's kind of cool.
See?
But you
I'm
don't really
smart,
know,
guys.
You don't really know they can banish you until it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, what happens if one of us gets banished and then one of the other ones is like, oh shit, puts them on?
What if the person who's Katsu, ow. What if the person who's holding the things is the one that gets banished?
Then we're shit out of luck.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Then we're boned.
We're boned.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, I feel like we should probably, like, I don't know, it's up to you guys. I think we could keep them. We could potentially. I have heard of people that can reforge items into other things, potentially turn them into something to aid us. There's a fair bit of metal here, you know, and it is enchanted. So like, we could potentially get them reforged into a trinket for each of us, or for a couple of, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. There's a lot of weird shit that happens down in the hills.
Matching manacles. Love it.
Well, no, more like matching rings. Or like a...
you could all get a
of some
matching
sort.
ring that prevents you from teleporting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Earrings? Earrings are cool. Karu, I know you like earrings.
I do like earrings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I could have another hole in my ear, it'd be fine.
Dad, can I roll like a persuasion check to get like then half back for this half plate, maybe?
You can definitely get half price back, like as a baseline. But if you want to give me a persuasion check, just kind of see how much better than that you can do.
Just to get a little bit more.
One once only has
natural 20.
yeah, you get the same. I'll go one better just because it was the natty 20. You got to honor the nat. So what'd you say? It cost you $750?
Yeah, 750 for the longsword. 15 for the longsword.
15
750
for
for the half plate. 15 for the long.
So you trade them back in because of all the work you did to ostentatious it up. I feel like you added more to it to make it that Don Mar special. You're able to you end up kind of reselling it and making a bit of profit over the top. So you end up walking out of there with like 780 gold.
Amazing. Thank you.
Hell yeah, good job.
Hell yeah. Make him
Extra money.
Cool. Killian, I've sent you back costs on what you wanted, and I think those costs might have been out of your budget range. But I've sent you a PDF with some more items that have costs next to them that may help.
Okay, I'll go through that, and I will...
You can get back to me later.
Yeah.
What you asked for is pretty cool.
Yeah, they were the quick things that I read, and I was like, they're cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, a couple of days of revelry and fun as the celebrations at the Brian's Widow wind down after a couple of days. The laughter and the clinking of mugs give way to the crackling of the tavern's hearth one evening. Verity leans in close to the crew, her sharp amber eyes gleaming with a mix of excitement and caution. She lowers her voice just enough to draw you in, ensuring that what she's about to say is meant only for your ears. You done me a great turn, and I've got one last piece of information that'll lead you to the biggest prize of all. You done well, but this next task may be the true test of y'all mettle. She takes a sip from her mug. The solitaire diamond you're looking for, the one Featherstorm used, told me to use to seal his secret vault. It's been fashioned into a platinum necklace known as the Heart of the Tempest. A truly magnificent piece, but more than just a trinket, it's the key. It's the only way you'll ever get in that vault. Her gaze narrows, the flickering firelight casting shadows across her crimson skin. Now, Featherstorm didn't keep it for himself. He gave it to his girlfriend at the time, a drow named Zodana Adula. She's a retired adventurer now, but don't let that fool you. She's still as sharp and dangerous as ever. Zodana treasures that necklace and only wears it during special occasions. Every year, during the winter solstice, Zodana and her husband, a human by the name of Elias, retreat to their home in the Feywild. They throw a lavish gala, one that attracts the rich and powerful from across the plains. That's where she wears the Heart of the Tempest. She leans back, a sly smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. You want that diamond? You'll have to get into that gala. And believe me, that's no small feat. But if anyone can pull it off, it's you lot.
Oh, thanks. I've always known I've been really fancy for a gala. I mean, they're my kind of people.
The flickering flames
No
of
one
the
even
hearth.
questioned that. What the fuck, guys? Come on.
Sorry.
Right.
Just like,
Mhm.
Sorry, Dad.
No, that's all right. Please do jump in if you feel the need to correct poorly on the record or let that hang.
I fucking wouldn't.
The flickering flames of the hearth cast long shadows as Verity's words hang in the air. The heart of the tempest, the solitaire diamond that holds the key to Captain Featherstorm's secret vault, is almost within your grasp. It's locked away in the Feywild, guarded by one of the most formidable couples in the realm. Your next adventure lies in infiltrating the Winter Solstice Gala, navigating the dangerous intrigues of the Feywild, and retrieving that diamond from around Lady Zordana Adula's neck. The journey will be perilous, filled with challenges and unknown dangers, but the rewards, they could be beyond anything you've ever imagined. As you're ready to take the leap into the unknown, to venture into the heart of the Feywild once again and claim the prize that could unlock Featherstorm's greatest secrets, the road ahead is treacherous, but for those bold enough to tread it, the glory will be unmatched. As the silence descends on the Brine's widow, and there's just sort of the crackling of the low fire, what are the reactions of the crew to finding this out?
I think Yama is pleased. Like, we have friends in the Feywild. Someone who sent him a gift for Christmas, so he perks up out of his depressive reverie and perhaps pulls out a letter from his friend, whose name I can't remember, but that really cute little.
I mean, you are the monarch, the butterfly monarch.
Yes, Feywild monarch king. He's keen. Yeah, so you guys see him like perk up at this, and he's like,
Yay, good.
Also,
Dad
Kate-
Yama's no fun.
I'm
No one
sorry,
likes a
guys.
depressed grandpa. They like a thoughtful, brooding grandpa. That's what's sexy.
I'm sorry, guys. I guess I just had some flashbacks to the war. It was a time when I drank a lot, and yeah, I felt bad. Sorry for
I get
putting you
it.
guys through that.
You don't have to apologize. We understand. It's okay. I mean, you didn't get my sword all dirty, so you're fine. Really. I really need to show you how to clean the sword. 3 days without a good oiling is really silly.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
3 days.
you were only gone for 3 days. Like,
Definitely wasn't 3 days.
why
it's
did
been
you
very
stop and
dramatic for 3
Yeah.
days, yeah.
We're just gonna gaslight him for the rest of his life.
I had a birthday down there. No one
We
was
would
there for
never-
me.
Oh yeah, 3 days? 3 days, really? Why didn't you level up then, huh? I mean, come on now. 1 year without leveling up? Yeah, bullshit.
This is where I'm like, well, actually, Dan's like, no.
No. No free level ups in hell.
Don't bait me.
Karu's reaction to the news is not particularly good, because he may have decided to go back into hotbo mode, and this is just Katie admitting that potentially I was buying a suit while you were describing that and was not paying attention. So I'm going to say that Karu was busy just being like, oh my god, everybody's glasses are half full, I need to fill them. And so he's just like, and he hears Feywild, and he kind of like, is Diana Cloppington with us at all?
Oh yeah, sure, she can be.
Yeah, I think like maybe he like he's like doing the hospo thing, but when he gets to her and he like fills up her cup, he like gives her a wink. He's like, oh, that's when we first started getting close. Hey, you remember that, baby? And he's just like, gives her a little peck on the cheek because he's a little flirt. He's very excited.
Yeah, she's been in the revelry, probably dancing around with you, but in her kind of centaur form, causing quite the clatter, hooves on tile and whatnot.
It's fine. Karu loves it because it keeps him busy hospo style because she keeps knocking shit over and he's like, oh, I'll get that. And now I think it's turned into a thing where like she'll just sort of like kick something and he'll be like, oh, so much work to do. Let me clean that up.
I assume she just stands over you as like Karu has to bend over to pick stuff up, and she's like,
yeah. She's just
respectfully.
Yeah. And he's like, did I get everything? Like, have I cleaned up this mess for you? Let me get you a new glass. And she's like, yeah, please. And everyone's like, stop it.
Stop objectifying Karu.
Karu's like, no, I like it. And he runs into the kitchen.
I think at some point during the festivities as well, Verity will, there's maybe a moment of quiet. Verity pulls Paulie aside or kind of catches him aside and says, now, I don't know if you're the great-great-grandson of my old captain, like you claim to be, but there is something about you in him, and I see it, especially after this job. I warn you, though, if you're going around running into some of my old crew, Queenie, Featherstorm's old girlfriends, you're probably going to run into some others. You're not the only one that's looking for his secrets. If you come across a big old storm giant, used to be his first mate, give him a kiss on that golden eye of his with your steel.
Oh, don't fucking worry. I will. That's literally how Paulie says it too. He's like, oh, I fucking will. Don't worry about that. Oh, yeah. He's going down.
And she kind of looks at you quizzically like, oh, y'all met before.
Oh, yeah. Basically my dad.
I thought you said Featherstorm.
He's got
No. He was hatching, he was there when I hatched, and he treated me like a slave. So he's gonna die a very painful death.
Well, we're pretty sure he was the reason that Featherstorm never came back from one mission.
I would not be surprised. He's a right prick.
Interesting to say you were raised by him. I didn't think he was the parenting type.
He wasn't in the fucking slightest. That's why he's going to get stabbed by this guy that needs to be cleaned again. Thanks, Killian.
I will melt that sword.
Then you'll really never hear the end of it.
I'll melt him with it.
All right. So your course is set ahead of you. There's perhaps, we'll say, a month or so until the winter solstice is kind of rolling around. You got a little bit of time, and we're going to go back into my and Katie's favorite activity, of course, which is downtime. When last we left our heroes in downtime, Paulie, I believe you were teaching the crew to improve their sailing, working on general piracy, recruiting sailors, and gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Yama, you've been blessing the boat. It's now looking spick and span, working on more teas and improving your divine sense. Killian, you were using Arcana to kind of protect yourself from being hunted. You were looking into the trident that you stole from the sea people and investigating Featherstorm, as well as unlocking the sort of extra transmutation powers of your new sort of draconic transformation. Have you renamed that spell, by the way, or do you still call it Tensor's Transformation in your book?
No, it's renamed in my book now. It's where'd it go? That'd help if I was on my spells tab. Killian's Draconic Transformation.
Very nice. Love that.
Very original.
And Karu was meditating on the Blood Hunter knowledge, not very well, admittedly. Helping train other companions. But you succeeded, just not spectacularly. And you failed at your bloodlust. And as a bit of a recap, Yama, you have 2 stress points. Karu, you have 1. We never established, I think, in the session what those stresses are affecting.
How much did I win in gambling again?
You wagered 1,000, and you ended up getting 1.5 back. Because you also
1.5 back, so.
You wagered the goggles, and you ended up getting a necklace of ocean pearls, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, I just didn't put the money in, the extra 500. Perfect.
Thank you. So, Yama, we'll start with you because you have 2 stress points. What is your current stress affecting? It could either be one thing you're proficient in, or 2 things you're not proficient in per stress point.
Well, I believe so. I rolled a natural 1, writing letters to my son, trying to basically glean information from him regarding the hobgoblin's movements. I rolled a cartography on that, and it turned out he was just being too direct and obvious and clingy, which was really probably very uncomfortable. And so I was pick maybe I definitely wanted to pick something charisma based. I think I'm gonna go with my deception, which I'm not proficient in, and persuasion, because they feel right. Those are 2 things he kind of failed at in trying to fulfill this task, so I'll take a penalty to those 2.
And are those 2 you're proficient in?
Then, that's right, I need to pick 4 then. So I've picked 2 that I'm not proficient in, and then maybe I'll go with...
They can be saving throws, they can be tools or skills, and you'll effectively have disadvantage on them until you can clear out that stress.
Let's go with perception, which I am proficient in, and the deception and persuasion that I'm proficient in.
Okay, cool. If you can just put those notes somewhere, just so you'll remember that you operating at a disadvantage. And what does that look like? You mentioned, you kind of messed up the writing to your son, and spend a lot of time on that, perhaps to the detriment of these other aspects of yourself and your skill set. So what does that look like? Why is Yama less perceptive? Why is he less persuasive and deceptive in these coming months as he continues on?
I think the persuasion and the deception is really easy. It's like a blow to his confidence, almost. This is a person who he really in his mind, he still knew well. He still sees his son as this young child whom he can lead and teach and educate. But it's been years since he left Tempura behind, and so he doesn't know anything about him, and he's kind of taken this blow to his psyche, basically. The perception, I think, is because he has become so introspective, and maybe he's just, and maybe this is tied to his morose mood recently, where he's just thinking about himself, thinking about where he and his son stand in the world, and that just means he's just not looking outward. Basically, he's not thinking about others right now.
You're allowed to be inward and perspective.
Karu,
some shit.
Kara, you've got 1 level of stress, I believe, attempting to overcome your bloodlust, or well, that's where you end up failing ultimately. But you were having a hard time training the crew and meditating and so on. That kind of led you to this stress. What has that affected for Kara?
Yeah. Kind of like the idea of maybe like it being my con and my charisma save that I'm not proficient in, being the things that are impacted. Constitution, because that's the save that I make for the bloodlust, so it is very much a like physical keeping it down. And then charisma in the sense that, yeah, like my aerobics Oz style didn't quite go down as well, so maybe it's a little bit of a blow to my self-confidence around that stuff. The thing about it is I would say, like, Kara would push through that anyway, just be like, oh, you know, some days you just have bad days, but maybe instead of, that's not the first thought he has. The first thought he has, like, oh, no one liked my stuff because I suck. Like, he had like the little negative thoughts. So yeah, con and charisma saving throws are the two that are going to be impacted by that.
Yep. All right, excellent. I just got a little treat here. There you go.
Brilliant. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a good-looking barrel.
That's your
That
new
is a
avatar.
good-looking barrel. Yeah.
Done.
That's excellent.
Special thanks. I know it was Maddie last week and Josh and everyone else contributing to the brilliant MVP of last week.
MVP.
I'm the one that sealed the deal.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
so clutch.
So I guess as we go into the next kind of months, as you look to prepare for your next journey, who wants to start in kind of what they're focused on, and having to kind of deal with in the lead up to this, next mission, but also in maintaining the crew and going about their business as they are.
Is it? Yeah. I'm not ready. I don't know why I spoke.
I kind of thrown this on you at
Because
the
it
last
was
minute.
There was a lot of empty void, so you felt like obligated to speak.
It's true. I do that.
I want to say that Yama is maybe, considering that we are going back into the Feywild, he might try and rehash that relationship that he had with Sir something. I think these are my notes that were on that old.
I know he had a great mustache.
Yeah, he was like a little lizard dude, little dragon dude.
It was a fairy dragon.
Fairy dragon, yeah. He was super cool, but yeah, Yama maybe will try and get into contact with him and try and just like reconfirm the friendship. Perhaps maybe find some information about the Feywild. I remember at least
I'm going to talk to.
Gala.
I'll talk to the crew as well. Go like, we are going into the Feywild again, so this time don't mutiny. Okay.
Prepare
We will be
yourselves.
back.
Fortify your minds.
I'll be back for sure. Paulie, I can't speak on.
So
He keeps
contacting
going on about that damn sword.
the fairy dragon, who you had become friends with in the Feywild. I'm trying to find his name.
Yeah, sorry, sprung that on you.
That's all right. I should have been prepared for this. But what skill are you using? How are you trying to reach out and send messages to the Fae?
You know what? This is really weird, so tell me if I can't do this. But the Witchlight Monarch crown, which I know is not really visible or physical in this like.
I've lost you, Kate.
Oh, can you?
Oh,
So-
no, now you're back.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe my mic is just a little bit touchy. The flower crown on my Witchlight Monarch crown, I'd love to maybe, I don't know if there's any kind of like paladin voodoo that I can be doing that's maybe a little bit along the lines of like brewing tea / scrying / I've got some tea leaves from the Feywild as well. Commune.
All right. Yeah. What are we rolling?
I'm rolling my tea brewing.
Sure. Getting into that kind of spirit realm kind of state, and going from there.
Yeah, he's trying to activate his like avatar.
Yeah.
That's an 18.
18. Excellent. You receive back a prompt reply, not in the form of a written message, but in the smell of falling petals. And in fact, you get a sort of, instead of that deep whiff of the sort of elderberries and things like that you put in your tea, you get sort of that strong summery. You get kind of strong summery notes, and you feel a kind of message that, you know, as you get into this kind of trance state, looking at the trees and like the petals falling, you feel a response, and it is from Sir Talavar, the fairy dragon, the tiny dragon that you helped rescue in Hither in the Feywild. And he says, "Well, what are you just like? Were you kind of touching base? Were you telling him your plans? What were you kind of feeding through in this trance state?"
Yeah, maybe he's like, hey, we're coming to visit. We're hoping to, get entry to this winter solar. Is that something that you attend? Do you know the host? Would you escort us?
You get back I will be there with my queen. The summer queen shall attend the winter solstice, if only to hand over the rulings and kind of end her reign for the winter. And before before we seclude ourselves in the summer palaces for a time, it will be good to catch up. I have told her of all the brave deeds that you have performed, and she's excited to meet another noble hero.
Cute.
So, especially with that roll of the 18. Let me just write that down. Contacted Sir Talavar. It sounds like the Summer Queen will be there and has only heard great stories about you.
Hell yeah.
You bet she has.
So that's your DC 5. Now, obviously, you have some stress. At any time, you can, instead of taking your next skill, you can do a relaxation check. Obviously, it'll be DC 10 at this point. You cannot do a relaxation check if you have, failed and stopped, right? You can't do a relaxation check after that. So you have to choose when to start relaxing. But similarly to the other skills, if you do a relaxation check, every DC above that you get, you can start knocking stress off your character.
Yeah, okay, let's do a relaxation check.
But that'll be the last check you do in the downtime. So if there's other things you want to accomplish, correct.
Maybe circle back to me.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I mean, I can go next. I was kind of thinking similar to what Paulie was thinking about, like, don't want the crew to get any ideas while we go away. So Karu is going to... This is a weird one because I'm trying to find something that I actually have an okay. Okay. Yeah, but you saw me. So what I want to do, Karu wants to write notes to everybody in the crew. like notes telling them like from Paulie, like from the captain and his sort of like higher up crew, telling everybody like how valuable they are, and maybe just like, you know, it's kind of little silly stuff like maybe pressing flowers into some of them sort of thing. And he wants, it's just like little like cute notes, like specifically saying like, you know, is Nesbit the one that likes blowing stuff up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like to Nesbit, it's like a poem. Like, Nesbit, I love the way you blow everything up in the summer skies of May and shit like that. And he's just like, and so I think he wants to go around, and I'm gonna go like a sleight of hand to like sneak them into sort of everybody's, like maybe everybody has like a backpack that is where they sleep, and he just wants to like put it in a pocket for them to discover at a later date.
Yep, love that. Give me the roll.
I'm gonna sleight of hand. It's only +2. You're right. It's a DC 5. I gotta be fine, right? I gotta be fine. Cool, I'm fine.
Yeah, you get a couple of the letters in without being seen. Who are your kind of main priorities? Nesbit, because he did a coup last time. Sorry, a mutiny.
Yeah, the ones that went, the ones that did the coup mostly, but obviously, definitely letters to my harem. They are important too.
Yeah, you're writing them letters from Paulie.
No, it's the harem. It's from me.
Okay.
No, hang on. No, that's from me. They're the ones with the press. Actually, no, everyone gets a pressed flower. Even like Nesbit and Raina, they all get one. Yeah.
So, Paulie, over the coming months, you notice that Nesbit and Reynard, they weren't standoffish. They were certainly loyal, but there's been a lot less grumbling. And you know, when they see you, Nesbit touches where he thinks his forelock should be, and he's like, "Captain."
Oh, thank God, Nesbit. Oh, I love this attitude. It's great.
He said, "Look, Cap. I'm not a big blowing up guy. You know that about me. Anytime there's an explosion, I ain't there. But it's very kind of you to think so. I have an alibi for all those summer explosions that you may or may not have heard about."
And I know that alibi is strong. I have backed your alibi every time.
Yeah. I mean, you were probably there. Yeah, I think I was with you. I was just
every
I'm
time
short, though.
you
You
were
don't
with me.
see us.
Yep. Every time. We were together. That's how it goes.
Excellent. So success. Who wants to jump in next?
I would investigate the movements of the deep folk that are still hunting me to try and stay ahead of that a bit longer. I mean, I disappeared for them completely for 3 days, and they're like, "Damn!" And I thought it was nice having a year without feeling like something was chasing me, other than the normal things down there. But they're like me; they're fine. So I'll make an investigation check.
And I think that mark on your skin went completely away while you're in the city of Dis.
Yeah, it's starting to fade back in now.
It's starting to fade back in. It's not immediate, but you can. It starts as like almost like an itchiness under the arm, right? Like a rash, and then over the course of maybe a couple of weeks, it starts building back up again, and you start remembering, oh shit, something is turning its lidless eye to me.
That's when I start poring back over the charts and any reports that I can find of their movements to try and stay ahead. And that is that's a good one.
27 investigation. So you start poring over any kind of news sources you can find, any kind of reports at any port you pop into over the next month, and you hear stories about these seaborn blood raiders being spotted sort of haphazardly among the islands of Aurora, and I imagine giving that information to Yama to kind of plot a course to avoid any of those sort of hotspots. And with a 27, absolutely, you plot a course that's going to give you very wide berth of any kind of areas where they've been spotted, and Yeah, and where you're headed in particular does not seem to be like a a hot spot that you need to be worried about. In fact, you're headed to the port city of Loch Winnis, and you're able to, over the course of the month, steer clear of all the reports you can get coming in from different quartermasters that you meet, different shop folk that you chat to keep yourself a nice distance away from any kind of sea folk.
Then, on my second check, I would now remember that I was actually looking for something. I don't think we ever gave Mordenkainen the chess set back. And Killian will remember, oh shit, I'm meant to be looking for their old allies, like, stash on the ship. And he's, like, looked for it over time, but he's gonna, like, take a bit of time over this month to really, like, use his magic to try and find it. Because Dylan knows that it's invisible.
Yeah.
The rest of the crew knows that there was stuff that just kept getting sent back to the ship, but has no idea where it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make an Arcana check.
All right. Very good.
16.
Excellent. First one was 27, and this one is 16. Arcana. So you're essentially sweeping the boat for this chest set.
I'm looking for Thorn's invisible chest. Because that's
on a meta level, yes.
Yeah.
We know this, and so you spent a lot of time looking for this chest set that was obviously a powerful, a great gift from Mordenkainen to Tasha, and that you've been tasked with returning to her or to Mordenkainen, so we can give it back. And through your sort of sweeps over the coming month, you find the invisible chest. You're able to kind of open it up and see inside. The chess set is inside the chest. Though with a 16, I'll say not everything is still in there. It looks like when you open it up, the lock is busted. Someone else has found this secret stash. And it looks like the crew had been, using this as a bit of a spend box, as a petty cash box for a little while. And we can talk about offline kind of what would still be there and what wouldn't. But the chest set is there. They went for the cash first, effectively. Anything sort of obviously valuable and fungible. But most other things I think are still in there.
Okay. So wait, that I can just delete the gems, diamond dust and gold. And the
let's assume that sounds fine. Yeah, what else is still in there? What does Killian find, and what does
there's
he
a bunch of
tell the crew about?
scrolls.
Yeah.
I'll be like, there's this scrolls of fire breath and locate object, quite useful. Potion of water breathing, potion of lightning resistance, 2 potions of greater healing. If anyone would like one of those.
Sure.
I'll do. There's 2 of them. You guys
I'll
decide
take
who gets
another
them.
one because I always get really hurt.
Okay.
I'm always far away from people who can heal me.
All right. Karu and Paulie get 1 each. I'll delete those out of there. There's more scrolls, protections from plants, celestials, an earring, scary looking earring. I'll spend some time. I'll identify all of these other items in here, and we'll talk about those. There's a staff in here. Do any of you guys want to use that? I've been looking for one.
I have a staff of flowers already.
Okay.
What is it? Does it do anything? Or is it just a staff?
I'll spend a bit of time and I'll look at it and I'll be like, that's an eldritch staff. Where'd you guys get that?
I don't know.
Karu is an eldritch horror sometimes.
I like smell it.
Looks like a fancy stick
tastes
to me.
it. Like Killian gives it a little taste. He's like, tastes like hag.
Ew.
What does a hag taste like?
Not
How do
good.
you know what a
Heavy
tag
with
tastes
the
like?
heck? Yeah.
I have
Killian knows
questions.
what a lot
I
of
eat shit
magical
like you
things
for
taste
breakfast.
like.
You eat shit
Okay,
for
how,
breakfast.
how do you think Killian paid for his student bills? Okay.
Hey, it happens, all right.
We've all licked some
but
hag
I'll be
stick
like,
one time or another.
he'll give 2 potions of healing to Yama
Thank you.
because there are 3 in there, so he'll take 1.
Thank you.
And then he'll like, Polly, was there meant to be like any funds in here?
There should have been.
There isn't. Like,
Shit.
Killian feels like he had a chat with Paulie. Paulie's memory's not as good as Paulie thinks it is, but Killian's like, I believe there was you mentioned that there was like some diamonds, some other random like rocks, gems, bunch of gold,
Shiny-
maybe a
shiny
crown
rocks, yes.
and
Yeah.
a crown. Yeah,
Maybe.
none of that's there.
Right.
Yeah. But well, this is what happens when people mutiny. Shit goes missing.
Gonna have
I
to
reckon.
kill them, aren't I?
I mean, I can do that if you'd like.
No. We shouldn't murder the crew.
No, I
Yeah.
just wrote all those lovely notes. Don't murder the crew.
We just dock their pay for a little while.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's alright. They needed to pay for things. I bet it's okay.
I like to think that like he finds like Killian like finds like a tiny bit of diamond dust, and he's like, well, there was diamond in here. This is
Maybe-
useless though. And, like,
Maybe even find like illegible like receipts that people have been putting in there. Like, oh yeah, we'll pay this back. Like, but we need I'm taking X amount of gold, but it's just illegible who
IOU.
wrote it. Like, yeah, that kind of like IOU that is never going to get paid back. But like someone tried to keep track, but obviously whoever was their quartermaster after Sorn during the mutiny times just did not do a good job. It was probably ratty.
yeah, I like to think there's just 1 gold piece left.
Yeah.
Killian's like, Paulie, this is here you go.
I
Gives
will
it to
add that
Polly.
as 1 gold.
The ship's gold. Don't worry, I'm managing it somewhere else. They will not be finding it this time.
Excellent question for
yeah.
Dylan on a meta level. Would Sorn have left a note in there or have taken... I mean, he has no need for gold or all those magic items, but would have Sorn left anything in there that of a note-like nature or a keepsake-like nature?
He may have left like a small carving of like a raven or something. It's like blackened wood. And he finds that and it just has like S on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I found this as well. Does this mean anything to you guys?
What is it? An S? Ooh.
S.
It's a black
Stinky.
raven, like a small little black
Yes.
raven, like a chess piece size black raven with an S on the bottom of it.
Ooh.
S for sad.
And Killian's like, wasn't your old friend's name Sorn? Could it be that?
Sorn! I was getting
Stupid, sexy Sorn. Yes, that's what we called him.
I was
Yeah,
going
well.
through all the descriptive words, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, here you go. Maybe put this somewhere above I don't know. Do you, Captain? I haven't been in your room. Do you have a fireplace in there? I feel like it's not a good idea because it's a wooden ship, but like I feel like it's something you would do.
Just don't put it up your butt, Captain. It's probably the only thing I would recommend.
Like mid-shelf. I'm like halfway there. Like,
Killian just takes it back.
But it's from
He's like, "I'm gonna put
Sorn.
this
He would want it
back
up
in
the
there."
top.
Puts
Put
it
it
back
in
in the
its
box for
place.
I was
safekeeping.
gonna put it where he belongs.
God damn.
Yes, I have a fireplace, most likely. Sure, let's go with that.
We'll put it above the mantelpiece. I feel like that's a good spot for it.
It's not
Okay.
a fireplace, it's a drawing in crayon of a fireplace stuck on the wall.
Very good. And the crackling of the paper makes the like fire sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The wrinkly- Love it.
Excellent. That's 2 successes, Killian. Do you have another one, or do you want us to loop back?
No, I think that'll do. I'll just after this conversation, after it all wraps up, I am going to reach out to Mordenkainen though.
Yeah, sure. I think as part of that, you've retrieved the chess piece. The chess piece is the chess board itself, and so that is effectively complete. But we'll work on that. What that means, and what perhaps your next task from Mordenkainen would be.
I would like to quickly recreate the Sawn chess piece as well, and just throw it in with the chess set, just as a nice
very cute
little gift to send back.
Yeah. All right, Paulie, Yama, Karu, you've got more things you can potentially do. Who wants to jump in?
I think I need more time.
I mean, I just want to do the stress check. I think I want to do the relaxation thing for my dude.
Yep. Okay. DC 10.
Relax.
Now, I don't know what the actual check. What are you doing to relax? I guess is the hanging in the harem. Sure. I mean, you're on and off the ship. It's a month, so there's lots of travel, lots of ports to stop in.
I think Karu's concept of relaxation is to tie like a rope, like to like basically be dragged along behind the ship as it travels. Like, so he's just like starfishing and letting like the water like rush past his head, like rush past his ears and all through his body. But he's like tied himself to the back of the ship, so he's just getting like dragged along.
Yeah.
So
Dolphins jumping up through the wake to say hi.
Yeah, occasionally he like rolls over so that he's like staring down into the ocean, particularly when it's like slightly shallower waters and he can sort of see like the sort of coral reefs far below kind of thing. I think he finds that very relaxing. Katie fucking hates this idea. Katie does not like open bodies of water at all, but Karu I think would thoroughly enjoy it.
Absolutely. What kind of check are we looking at here?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest. It's like...
We could always do something like a con saving throw to see how well you get dragged behind a ship. Some kind of athletics because you're holding on for dear life. I mean, the fact that you're going down there every day is sort of certainly an acrobatic venture.
True.
You're swinging off the ship every day to be launched behind it. Some kind of nature check to make sure that you're tying the knots effectively and not being left behind and having to like swim to catch up in a panic.
I think also maybe to gauge whether the ocean is a relaxing time today, because sometimes you would be staring into the abyss if you were to look down underwater. So I guess like a nature check will do that.
Sure. Yeah,
Judges when it's a good time to go down into the water.
Yeah, because it's almost like there's a different weather biome beneath you. It could be clear skies above, yet creepy and eldritch and shark infested below.
Yeah, because he doesn't like the depths. He has that whole thing. So definitely it's about judging. Okay, it's clear crystal water. Today I'll stare at the sky or I'll stare at the I got 21, so I think I did all right.
Lovely. Yeah, you can mark off that stress. After all that effort I went for you to choose a stress, you can mark that bad boy off. You won't have that affecting you going into the next
I
arc.
hadn't even written it down. That's how I knew how well I was going to do at clearing it.
That's bold of you to say that out loud.
Nothing to do with me and my terrible ability of taking notes.
All right, so Karu is done for downtime activities. Paulie and Yama, and Killian still has a chance, see if he wants to throw in a third one at some stage.
I think I've got one that I'd like to work on. I have this alchemist ring that allows me to receive an extra 1d6 hit every time I take a healing potion.
1d6 hit points every time you take a healing potion, yep.
Yeah, so I'd love to be maybe like, I don't know if I could be like eating that arcane energy or healing her like that, but I'd love to like be trying to boost that if that's something that's possible.
Yeah, because it is really all about when you drink a potion, I mean, the ring itself is magical, but I love the idea of that Yama is maybe like tweaking his magic potions a little bit more. He's adding a little bit of extra spice to them, maybe some cinnamon, and that's the thing that's giving them that little extra kick each time, right? I love that. What kind of check is it going to be? A brewer's check or?
I'd love to go maybe like medicine.
Sure. Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Here we go. It's for a DC 10. Oh my god, it's a...
No.
What was that?
An
I rolled
8.
8.
Would you like to take a third stress and
No.
try again?
No. I'm just like, oh, I've got this. It'll be fine.
The party does have 2 inspiration points in the tank.
No, it's fine.
All right. Especially because if you stop here because of a failure, you will not be able to take a relaxation check.
Okay,
Use the inspiration.
I'm
Use
gonna
it.
take all
Use
of
it.
the inspirations. I appreciate you guys.
They're purely there for Yama.
Use.
Can't believe that. Yeah, honestly, at this rate. 14, yay.
Excellent. So 14 is better than the DC, not quite sort of in the next level up. I will say similar to Paulie's striker feat, if you roll a D1, if you roll a 1 on that check, you can re-roll it effectively. So when you go to roll that 1 extra dice, the 1 extra D6 on a healing potion,
Excellent.
you can re-roll a 1.
Thank you. And for my final activity, I would like to take a relaxation
Okay.
activity.
What kind of relaxation activity is Yama doing?
Honestly, I think because it was like his confidence that shattered. I think what he's gonna be working on, like his body, and going back to that like Yama Daddy vibe. It's gonna be like working out and making sure it's like no shirt on in the sun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna be doing his best to pull his confidence. So I'm gonna go for it.
Athletics, yep.
Cool.
DC 15,
18.
you make it with an 18. So you didn't quite clear it by 5, so you just get to remove 1 stress token. So I'll let you choose which one of those, and just let us know which disadvantages you're keeping, effectively.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the disadvantage to the perception, but I'm gonna take away the deception persuasion one, because that was the one I was like, is my confidence.
Yeah, gotcha. So Yama's confidence starts coming back over the course of a month or so. He's still a little bit distracted, perhaps not keeping an eye out. You find him maybe sort of misty-eyed a little bit, staring out off the bow, not calling out land ahoy when he should be, and so on. But his mood has gotten a little bit more chipper, it sounds like,
Good.
and more positivity as he's gotten rolled back into that Uncle Iroh, Dad Bod kind of vibe.
100%.
Excellent. Paulie.
Paulie's gonna keep trying to make sure the crew are sailing correctly. So I think what was it? I think we did Reynard and Nesbit last time. Maybe do like Fiera. And I know someone else in the crew, but yes. Oh, and and my new monkey. Make them really proficient.
Okay.
Try to get them proficient in sailing.
And so you're making a sailing check here, or what are you doing? Or is this like a persuasion, like your oration powers? What are we looking at?
Maybe like vehicle, like my water vehicles.
Yep.
I'm like showing them how to do it.
So that'd be just a
Thieves tool, basically same thing as the same as my thieves tool.
yeah.
19.
19, excellent. You're able to you the rest of the crew who you didn't train last time still kind of struggling with it. This monkey though is amazing.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, like what's that? 2 others because it's DC 5. So 5, 10, 15. So the monkey and 2 others become sort of more handy around the boat.
Awesome.
Start being able to actually like help out, learn how to steer, learn how to pull ropes, etc.
Perfect. That's great. Good. And I'm going to spend my second one teaching Killian how to use Talon properly and also clean Talon properly.
I use Talon very fucking properly. I fucking put holes in things. Talon, the edge of Talon's like slightly blunt, like rounded off, not so sharp anymore because Killian is just doing force damage to everything.
Yeah, Killian, I assume like Paulie kind of lets you borrow Talon. He goes like, okay, show me your moves, kind of thing. And what is Killian's technique? Was he using his pure strength rather than dexterity when he
would have used like originally it would have been strength based.
Yeah.
But then after the potion wore off, he would have used his tenses transformation as well, like if he had to fight down in the hills. But mostly finesse based attacks. Killian is trained with rapiers. Like he's very deft with rapiers.
Okay.
So he does like his little flurry and then just
when he's transformed or even when he's not transformed, is he proficient?
Even when he's not, he's just proficient with rapiers. It's one of the weapons that I picked as he has training with. So he does his flurry and it looks really, really technical. And he just like doesn't even look, just tosses Talon back to Paulie.
So yeah, this is the skill of a gentleman who has learned rapiers from a book. It seems he's got the very tight, correct stance. You know that
the way to hold it. Yeah.
The way to hold it. The way to thrust.
Not relaxed at all.
Yeah, it's the Merryweather's guide to pugilism kind of. You know, he's read the pictures, he's read the descriptions, and done it exactly. Whereas Paulie, perhaps your style is more relaxed and kind of free and bouncing and so on. So, yeah,
it's like the Pirates of the Caribbean when Orlando Bloom is like fighting with Johnny Captain
Depp.
Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like he's like, and Johnny Depp's
practice
just like,
every single day. Yeah. So the goal is to kind of improve Killian's swordsmanship.
Yes.
What do you want the outcome to be if you do well here? Not everything has to have a +1 whatever. It could just be a fun bonding experience for sure.
I just think it's a fun bonding experience. I think that's enjoyable.
Yeah,
I like that. I like to think it would like spark up more of an interest in martial weapons for Killian, and Killian's like, if anyone could teach me how to use a longsword, I feel like that would be cool.
I can do that.
He looks at Yoma, he's like, next time, you're looking pretty stressed, bud.
Now, do you want to make a
relax.
skill check, Paulie, or I'm also happy for you to just make the equivalent of an attack roll to try and hit this DC as well, because you are, using your weapon as you show Killian, but I'm also open to skills, of course.
I feel like it's more fun anyway, because I mean, it's like like the Knackers use reliable talent to pass it. So let's just roll.
Performance, or what are we doing?
19.
Oh, this one, 19. Yep, perfect. Well above. You show Killian perhaps a little bit more of the pure finesse, not relying on the force damage of magic, but relying on the weapon itself to find that sweet spot. Whereas Killian, you perhaps have never needed to find like that small chink in the armor, right? You kind of go for center mass,
just create one,
and then and create a kind of explosion of magic damage. Whereas Paulie sort of teaches you a little bit more about targeting and looking into that. And perhaps, you find that maybe rapiers aren't necessarily, perfect for Killian's himbo physique. Maybe something like a long sword could be worth trying down the line. Something like that. And I'm sure, like, at the end of one afternoon of sessions, you know, Paulie switches it to go, okay, now knives.
Killian can use daggers as well.
You should fight each other for the honor of leadership. I've got some knives.
Killian goes to get the book. He's like, give me a second.
Yeah. In rapiers. Love that. Cool. You have another chance here, Paulie. Or Killian, if you've got one on deck, of course.
My next roll would be 20, wouldn't it?
You've only done 2. You've done Investigating the Raiders and Arcana to Sweep the Boat. That was your 2 so far. So your next one's a DC 15.
Okay.
I've got a 9, by the way, too, guys.
Yeah, we're wrapping up here, I think.
I would like to spend some more time with my transformation, like bolstering that transformation, making it more transmutable draconically.
Okay.
And use Arcana again, if possible.
Sure, yeah. Makes sense to me.
18.
18 is good. So I don't think you see any sort of like metagamey levels of upgrading, but I'm definitely noting it down. And what Katie so eloquently put it, filling up a pie of success. Or what is it? Filling up a clock of success?
A clock, yeah.
I prefer
a pie though is great.
Yeah. Transformation practice. I'm just putting in here.
Yeah.
But what kind of like visible differences do we see in Killian's draconic transformations as he's sort of practicing?
I think my first one was I got claws when I transformed. Now I like to think that like you just notice that he just has scales.
Yeah.
Like his forearms have like a scaly texture to them forming as well. Ultimately, I'd like to eventually continue this and have it like my wings go draconic, whatever. But then I'm generally trying to go towards getting like an aberrant dragon mark.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right.
And like go into that. So a few successes
love that.
down the line.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we can definitely discuss that. I think, I think it's a cool idea that it's like as you're improving, you know, over time, it's becoming that more and more draconic. You know, as you said, the scales, maybe eventually controlling those scales to be that kind of, you know, provide you with those other benefits. Love that. Your next check will be a DC 20 if you would like to continue.
I'm
Paulie,
good.
You've got one as a DC 15.
Nah, I'm all good.
Right.
Oh, actually, no. Maybe I'll just work on like the crew's morale. Just get them all excited and happy.
Yeah, love that.
What do you mean to roll for that one?
You tell me. How are you raising their morale? How are you raising the roof?
I'm persuading them about how awesome I am as a captain.
Could I assist with this and make it a team one?
Sure. Yeah. I'll give Paulie advantage here. If you want to forego any more skill checks, you're spending this time to kind of assist. Explain to me how you're assisting, and then
I can't roll lower than a 21 anyway, dude.
I know, but I like to think that after our like little sword training thing, Killian like comes back with Paulie and he's like, he's going through his pack as well, and he's got some like souvenirs that he's brought back from the Hells for the crew. He hasn't been with them long, but he is fond of them. They do provide us with support, and they need to be shown that they are valued.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
He's also trying to really assess who stole all the money from that chest. Like who looks the guiltiest when they're given a gift.
Yeah. And do you tell him it's from Captain Paulie? You're like, Paulie told me to get this for you kind of
He's
thing?
like,
Or is it from Killian?
This is from, like, he'll have a few that are, like, specifically from him, and you can tell they're things that have come from the Hells. Like, they've all got just a slight off-scent to them. They're a little bit far left field.
And I imagine you're giving them to these when you're paying them out the silver of their cut, right? Like, it's It's like a little extra token of my gratitude. But then there's like other things like kind words from the captain, and Killian will also add in when we return from the Feywilds,
I'll prepare a feast. It may be made with magic, but it's still edible nonetheless. It will be delicious.
Excellent.
Whatever you want. Just start making a list. Reynald, can you write?
I'm well versed in over 3,000 languages. Of the far
Fantastic.
realms.
Write it in. You seem to know Common fairly well.
Yes.
Okay. Well, can you just start taking a list from everyone? I hear the Feywild, there was like a sausage contest at one point. I'll try and bring back some of
Skin
those.
stuffed with dead meat. I see.
Exactly. I'll try and bring back some of those and roast them over a fireball for you guys. But make a list. We may be able to bring you some cool things back, and we'll have a feast.
I love that, and because you rolled quite well, I'm gonna say, Paulie, if you want to choose who's the crew member you dote on the most, they are going to level up from level. What are they on? 5 to 6.
5.
Monkey.
Okay.
Powder monkey.
Maybe that one doesn't count because I more think of that as a familiar kind of
Okay.
thing. I don't think it has a particular level.
Okay.
I love the idea.
Let's go to
though.
priestess.
Yeah.
Yes, the drow.
Yeah,
lady,
she is.
which cool.
She's definitely the most useful as well.
Yeah, cool. So I believe Fiera Doerden.
Yeah, Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
Welcome to Flavortown.
Let me bump her up here if I can remember how. And that's pretty much it, unless you have one final one for a DC 20, Paulie. Do you want to try? I mean, you can't roll lower than a 20 on some checks, so like, what is something you feel that Paulie would try and do and just comfortably just scrape by just on his base skill?
Animal handling. Let's go. I don't have any expertise in that. Let's try
Okay.
and make more friends with the monkey. I'd
Yeah.
literally have to roll a 20.
Okay, let's do it. Let's see how it goes.
Oh my god, 19.
Oh my god.
Would you like to take a stress or the final inspiration?
Stress it.
You take it. You're gonna take a stress.
I'll take the stress. I'm not gonna roll. I've got +0. It's that medicine.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I.
So the stress is to roll again. You don't have to take the stress if you're not going to try again.
I'm not gonna try again. No.
Okay, so no stress. That's fine. I love that. So we see the crew at their various separate duties. I think you trying to train your monkey. It's feeling a bit left out. You taught it all the sailing, but you haven't been taking care of it as well as perhaps you should. No real downsides to that apart from it's just a little bit standoffish and is not learning. You've taught it how to tie knots and like run up rigging with Karu, but when you're trying to teach it to perhaps steal things or give you a salute and stuff like that, it just flips you off and runs away.
Slaps me flips me off.
Yeah, poops in its hand and throws it at your feet and then runs off. And that is where we leave the crew as they kind of leap into the unknown on their way to the what did I say the town was called? I don't know, but it's there. It exists, and you're heading there to lock something or other, where you'll bring you're heading there on your ship and head back into the Feywild for the Winter Solstice Gala, and that's perhaps what we'll pick up next week.
Nice.
Very good, team, and right on the dot for 8:54, perfect timing. Timmy gets to go to bed on time. We'll call it there and do a bit of a session debrief. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.